Click the New Request button in the top right corner of the dashboard to begin a new authorization request for an outpatient service. Now click Find Patient. Search requirements are either first name, last name, and date of birth, or a member ID number and a date of birth. A list of members meeting that criteria will display. Click anywhere on the line showing the correct patient information. Select Outpatient as the type of service. Manually enter or use the calendar icon to enter the service start date. Select whether you are the ordering provider ordering the service, the servicing provider who will be providing the service, or both. After selecting provider type, a new field will appear where you can enter provider information. Select Find Ordering Provider and utilize any of the search fields. After locating the correct provider, add them to the request by clicking the name. Repeat for the servicing provider. From Place of Service dropbox, select the CMS Outpatient Place of Service. Depending on the plan, you may also need to select a category or a level of care. Request severity always defaults to standard. If this is an expedited request, you'll need to manually change that here. Click Save and Continue to move to the next section and enter clinical information. A diagnosis can be entered either by typing the description in the search field or by entering the ICD code but without the decimal. Repeat to add any additional diagnoses. The initial diagnosis entered will be defaulted as primary. If entering multiple diagnoses, designate primary by clicking the bubble to the left of the diagnosis. To remove a diagnosis that is no longer needed, click the X to the far right. Enter the procedure or service either by typing out the description of that procedure or by entering the procedure code. You may add additional procedures. To designate a procedure as primary, click the button to the left. To remove a procedure, click the X to the far right. For outpatient requests, unit type, frequency, and duration are required. If selecting the frequency as total, you will be required to manually enter the service ending date. If selecting the frequency as anything other than total, you will be required to enter that specific duration, and the system will automatically calculate the ending date for you. Either a free text note or a clinical document is required before you can submit the request through the provider portal. Click Browse to upload an attachment. A green check will appear once the file has successfully uploaded. If entering a note, type it in the free text entry box. Continue the request by clicking Save and Continue. The request will remain in draft status until it is finalized by clicking Submit at the bottom left of the page. After submitting an authorization request, case number and case status appear in the top left corner. This case now appears under the Submitted tab on the dashboard with a status of In Progress.